What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Everyone that's in here, just got to make sure the audio is, of course, working. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be talking about the game that just happened yesterday, of course, against AC Milan. We got something to talk about transfers-wise. One player to actually talk about transfer-wise. We'll talk about the performance, talk about what Fark said after the game, and if you think my opinions on what he said after the game. And yeah, that's basically what the stream will be today. That's all I really want to talk about. So yeah. Yep, the audio is working. We're good. Okay, the audio is working. We are good. Let's move this over. There we go. So yeah, we got some we got to try. What the hell just happened, boys? My camera just. Oh my god! What just happened? What just happened to the camera, by the way? Oh my god! What just happened, boys? Is it good or does that make it worse? Are we good? We're good in the chat? We're good? Yeah, I look way worse. Yeah, I definitely look way worse. Let's just see if... Let me just see if I can... If I deactivate and then reactivate and see if that fixes it. And are we good? That's better. Yeah, it just did that for some reason. Anyway, we are back. That's better. That's the best we can get it. But yeah. Okay, there we go. Yep. Okay, so we're back. Anyway, so there's a few things we have to talk about. The first thing, I think we'll go straight away to the transfer because I'm not quite sure about this player as I just saw this and I don't know how true it is because I can't really see many. There's no like article about him and there's no like massive talks about him, but we are linked apparently to Nicolas Gonzalez, who plays for Juventus and is a winger basically, is what I can get at. That's basically it. So yeah, here it is. Here's the report that Leeds United are confirmed to have interest in Juventus winger Nicolas Gonzalez. So again, we have interest in a player. It's interest, and I'm just so sick of the words they use. We like the player, we're monitoring, we're interested. Like, oh my god, it's so annoying when we need a winger and a striker, to be honest, as soon as possible, because they have to train with the squad to learn the system and learn how we play. And I'm just saying this, we really need those positions. I think I'm more fine about the winger situation because we've got Nonto, who I think is going to play on the left, and I think he's had a very good preseason. But up front, I do not trust Pirro. I do not trust Pirro up front to be the leading striker for us, even against Everton. Like, against Everton, I don't trust him to be the guy that's going to start up front and actually do well. And Metra, I think, will do well for Leeds United this season. But my problem with Metra is, of course, his injury record and the fact of if he gets injured and we don't have another number 9, we're kind of fucked, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm more stressed about the number 9 than I am about the winger. But it looks like we've been linked to more wingers and strikers. I mean, the only 2 strikers we've actually been linked with in the window are Beto and Muniz. And that's it. It was Beto early on, then it was Muniz for so long. It's probably been about a month and a half of just linked with Muniz, and that's like the only striker that we've actually been probably credibly linked with. Now, the most I can tell you about Nicolas Gonzalez is he is a winger who, if this wants to appear for me properly, he is a winger that, let me just, I can do that. Okay, he is a winger that can play on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side, so he can play left wing and right wing. His season that he's just had, he played 35 matches for 2,249 minutes, scoring 5 goals and getting 4 assists. So not a bad season. I mean, it is at Juventus, but yeah, 5 goals and 4 assists in the season in 2,200 minutes, 35 games played. He then played 3 Club World Cup games where he played 130 minutes only, so he doesn't play much in the Club World Cup. Before then, he played in Serie A where he scored 16 goals and 5 assists. Before that season, he scored 14 goals, 3 assists. So he has got a good goal scoring record, a good GA record, 8 goals, 7 assists. Before then, he was in the Bundesliga, 6 goals, 2 assists, 15 goals, 4 assists. So he has a good record in his career with goal scoring and assisting, like his GNA. Don't know much about him. Would I take him? I don't know, because is he going to be better than what we have right now? And I cannot tell you because I don't know much about him. So I can't really tell you much about him. So I'm not quite sure about him. But we do need a starting winger, as I said, or someone that's going to challenge Nonto for that left wing spot. Because I think Nonto starts on the left, James starts on the right. So we do need someone that can challenge Nonto for that left-hand side. Because I'm looking at the right-hand side, and I am wondering, this is the one thing I am wondering. If we do manage to sign a left winger, does that move Nonto as a right winger? That's the only thing I got to say. Maybe Nonto moves as a right winger behind James, because behind James is just Aronson, who I think's had a very good preseason. I think he'll be used off the right when he comes off the bench in games. But it'll be nice to have another right winger, like an actual right winger, because if James gets an injury again through the season, I like Aronson and I think he'll be good for us because of what he does in the pressing and that, but I don't want him to start games in the Premier League on the right. Like, I think he can have a good 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes off the bench. That's fine because of his pressing and what he can do against tired defenders, but I don't really want, if James is injured, now our only option is going to be Aronson. And then who do you bring off the bench in that case, you know? We would end up with Muniz and Solomon. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about him, so I'm not quite sure how good of a player he is, but based off his stats, doesn't look like a bad player. Looks like a player that gets G and A all the time, so I wouldn't mind him. But yeah, the striker's the one I want. The striker's the one I'm really aiming for. Like, just give me a number 9. Like, just give me I know the season's starting in a week, so basically there's no one. Whoever comes in now isn't starting. By the way, I think we've got to realize that whoever comes in, if we bring someone in this week, they're not starting against Everton. But it would be nice to get someone in, you know, as early as possible, as early as we can. Also, I'm looking at the squad basically, and we do need another backup fullback. That's another one. We need the backup fullback, the left winger, and the striker. Just get those in, and then if you want to add a couple of more for depth, that's fine. But those 3 are the ones that we really do need. Now, after the game, Daniel Farke had a couple of things to talk about. Which one was I up to? Yeah, Daniel Farke had a couple of things to talk about. He was speaking in his post-match. He hopes to have Jayden Bogle and Bornau back in full training next week. Bogle has already been on grass doing individual work. So Farke is looking to have both Bornau and Bogle back in training. Bogle is back on grass, which is good, very good. He won't start against Everton, in my opinion. I don't think he'll risk him to be a starter against Everton. But it's good that Bogle is not going to be out for long, and those rumours about him being out for Christmas is not true. Bornau, I mean, I'm happy to have him back. I'm happy that he's back because he's going to be a good backup option off the bench. You know, if a defender goes down in the game, you know, if we get an injury in the game, it's good to have someone that can actually come off the bench and do well. But yeah, Bornau, I feel like Bornau is going to be one of those signings that he just gets injury after injury. He's going to be like what Max Vober was. He's going to basically be what Max Vober was. I just feel like he's that just already it feels like he's going to be the sign that just keeps on getting injured and barely plays for us. I mean, he'll play in the cup games, in my opinion, if he can stay fit. Because I don't even know if he can stay fit even, you know, without being on the pitch. Because it looks like it. But yeah, Ahmedin, who's that? Are we linked with him? Is there actually a link with him, or is that just like you saying you would like him? Because like I've not really seen much links recently to players, to be honest. It's been very, very quiet. Yeah, so it's good to have Bogle back. It's good to have Bornau back as well. It's good to have both of them back and ready. Then Farke went on to say Ilya Melia was not needed in the travelling party to Ireland because he was playing 2 and had Alex Cant in reserve. Stripping him of the number 1 shirt was a show of faith for Perry's confidence rather than an action against Melia, he said. So basically this means that you would like him, okay. I mean, I just want a winger, to be honest, right now, but I would like us to get the winger and the striker done. I wanted us to get it done earlier. I feels like we went in for Pak Shao, and then it feels like everything after that's just been nothing. Like, all the rumours that we had and all the links have been a bunch of just nothing, basically. But yeah, basically, I think what this says is basically Melia is gone. Melia will be leaving Leeds United. Good. I think for his time at Leeds, I understand, you know, he's made errors, but he started his career good. I think he can get back on track in his career. He needs a fresh start for himself. We needed to let him go, to be honest. And I think he'll get a fresh start somewhere else, wherever that is. And I think, honestly, he will have a good career. I think Mele as a goalkeeper will have a good career because I know there's a player in there. I know there is a player in there, and I'm pretty sure we will see that in the future because he's still very young. So especially for a goalkeeper, so yeah. But that's fine. Good. We have Darlow as our backup, and Darlow, even though he had a little Mele moment in the game, he's still way more reliable as a backup, and I'm happy with Darlow as our backup. If something happens and Perry gets injured, I mean, he came in with an injury, so if he gets injured, I'm fine with Darlow coming in as our backup. Fuck reiterate his previous message on Harrison. He needs to keep working hard and eventually win back the support. Like Firpo and Harrison, unsurprised by the booing, but noted the support in some pockets of the crowd. I spoke on this on my watch along and got kind of annoyed about it because I don't think Harrison did anything wrong, really, in my opinion. Personally, I don't think he did. Like, him personally did nothing wrong, but it's come out basically that after the game, he went over to the crowd and, like, clapped the fans, which is good, and I think, you know, I'm happy that he did that instead of just walking off the pitch. You know, he could have just done that and been like, I'm not taking this shit from the fans, but yeah, I'm happy with him. 4 more players in a perfect window. 3 or 4, yeah. Well, I know the winger, the striker, the fullback, backup, and then I don't know who else we would really need. Really, I feel like we'll get 3-1, and that's a good window. That's the better we put ourselves in the best chance of staying up. But yeah, back on Harrison, I'm happy that he's actually here. I'm fine with him being here. He got brought on as a fullback, so there's some people that are criticizing the performance and being like, oh, it's not against him because of what he did, but it's his performance. I'm like, he was a fullback who is a winger who was playing fullback for like 10 minutes. Like, you can't just have a go with him when he's playing a fullback as a winger. I thought he wasn't actually bad. I thought he was better than Schmidt as a fullback. I mean, if we had to, I'd prefer to start Harrison at right back than Schmidt. Fuck happy with the business, but well aware attacker needs to be improved for survival. We have replaced Joseph and Bamford with Mecha, a free agent, but we have lost Solomon, one of the key players in comparison to our championship squad. We have not improved in the offense, which is Fark basically reiterating the fact that he needs signings and he wants some players in, which is good that he's actually putting that pressure on the board. And number 10. Yeah, but I personally don't think we're going to play with a number 10. I think we're going to play the 3-man midfield all season. So I don't think we're going to play with a 10. So I actually don't think that's going to be necessary to get. Unless Fark wants to play in a 10 in some games and you do want that 10 in those games that we're going to play him. Or do you just play Aronson in the 10 in that case for those games? Because I think most games we will play the midfield 3. I could see Fark maybe changing formation based off the team we're playing, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. If we do sign a number 10, then it'll be like, okay, Fark's going to switch formations in a couple of games. But the way we bought our midfield, it just feels like we're playing a midfield 3. How we bought in all the midfielders, and now we got 5 midfielders. It just feels like we're not playing with a number 10, basically, which I'm happy with. Because I prefer the midfield 3. I think the midfield 3 is better for the Premier League. Because we don't want to get outrun in the midfield, and I think we'll be better with the 3-man midfield. But yeah, back, what were we up to? Yeah, basically, yep, replace Bamford, blah, blah, no. Which, yeah, Park basically, as I said, just reiterating the fact of we need signings. We're not done yet, please. I need some more players into the squad. And yeah, basically, there was also an article basically that Graham Smith put out on Daniel Fark's comments on Mele, and in this one, we'll read it, we'll go through it, but someone commented, why have you hidden a transfer name in an article and not mentioned it on here? And Graham actually replied saying it's just interest, and my interest in reporting interest is at an all-time low. Give me talks offers. So basically, Graham Smith is getting absolutely nothing from the club either. So like none of the journalists are like getting anything basically. So it's very hard for us. It is very hard for us to like look at these like links and stuff and believe them when our journalists aren't getting told anything basically. So it's very hard sometimes making videos and trying to make new content when it's basically like the club's getting nothing, so we're not getting any links and any news. But I'm hoping they are working behind the scenes, of course. They are working behind the scenes, but I think the fans will calm down if we bring in like one of the winger or the striker in this week. I think the fans will be a lot calmer if we bring one of them in. But yeah. I'm gonna Hello, morning to you too. Where we up to? We're up to this one, aren't we? So yeah, this was the article basically. Leeds United goalkeeper Liam Melia was left home at home as Lucas Perry took the number 1 shirt for the against AC Milan. Leeds United boss Daniel Farke post-game commented in Dublin have suggested that Liam Melia has slipped to the bottom of the goalkeeping pecking order, which is fine. The Frenchman was not present for the game against AC Milan. Basically, this is just talking about how he wasn't available. He didn't get chosen basically and left at home because that's where he's going to be. I think he's going to leave. There'll probably be something in the next week, probably, that he goes, in my opinion. Lucas Perry, his first minutes between the sticks for Leeds, a summer signing from Lyon. The giant Brazilian is regarded as Farke's first-choice goalkeeper for the Premier League season and has recovered from a hamstring niggle that he brought with him from the Ligue 1 side. Carl Darlow, who replaced Melia in goal for the final game in the Championship campaign, played the second half, basically. So yeah, our 2 goalkeepers. Farke's goalkeeper trio was made up by Alex Kearns, who's just there as our third choice, who was signed to be third choice in almost a player coach role. Kearns was also with the travelling party in Dublin and helped warm up both Perry and Darlow before the game, alongside keeper coach Ed Wootton. Asked about Melia whereabouts, Farke said, "Well, we have decided today just to play 2 goalkeepers." That's Farke saying in the nice way. He's not part of my plans. That's basically him saying it in a nice way. And for that, it was not necessary for him to travel with us. Lucas Perry is not there at 100% yet, and I wanted to at least give him his experience for the first 45 minutes. Now that he said here, now I didn't see this at first, but he said here that he's not 100%. Does that mean Darlow could start the opening game? I don't think Darlow does, but that is actually interesting, saying that Lucas Perry is not 100% yet. That is interesting. We'll find out closer to the Everton game. But if he's not 100%, does Farke instead go with Darlow? Carl is in the pecking order at the moment ahead of Ilan because he had a fantastic finish to last season and a really good preseason. So there's no need for me right now to change the pecking order in this terms. We then, Lucas and Carl would play their last and final test. Where is it? Farke was presented further on Melia's situation and Perry wearing of the number 1 shirt at a sold out. The interest in Perry, blah, 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 roll against Everton, noted for the 14 million transfer fee. Showed out for the Brazilian this summer. He gained reference Darlow's place in the queue and his own traditional performances. Of course, Lucas is also a player who is likely to play a role for us, blah, 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 as far as Farke said. Decision against Ilan, it's more a decision for the confidence of Lucas and to make him welcome and also to show why we've signed him. For the day, I'm a bit old-fashioned. In my generation, the starting 11 wore numbers from 1 to 11, and to have the number 1 not travelling with us on the shirt, I would have struggled a little bit, so we decided to give it to Lucas. Melia's future has been up in the air at Leeds United since the end of the season. The relative small fee paid for him when he joined the club means he would give us just pure profit, which is good. He's only going to give us pure profit, which is going to be good for the club. There is no longer a realistic chance of the game time for the new Premier League side. So yeah, basically he won't be playing, and yeah, it's basically the end of Melia at Leeds United. Basically that's what Farke basically just all he said was, yeah, Melia won't be playing for Leeds United ever again. Which as I said, he needs to go start his career again, try and get his career back on track, and I'm happy for him to do that. We need backup. The game is yeah, the creativity wasn't there. The creativity was not there in that game, by the way. I'm worried about the creativity. So the performance, in my opinion, I think we had a good performance. Of course, the goal scorer being Stack and Grove getting the assist. I don't know why we're putting Stack on corners, to be honest. He's 6'4". Why are we putting Stack on corners? Put Goodmanson on the corners. Goodmanson had some good set pieces. Like, he was the corner. This is the weird, because he was the set piece taker. Goodmanson was the set piece taker against Villarreal. And I thought he was very good at it. I thought the corners were actually very good. And then you take him off and put Stack on there? When don't you want Stack in the box instead and put, like, Goodmanson whip at him? Because if it's a free kick and you want to have a go, maybe Stack takes it. But when it's a corner, you get Stack in the box and let Goodmanson take it. We need that. You need that height. Let's sell Harrison, Aronson, Schmidt, and in quality players sell before. We're not gonna. The only one of those I'd sell is Schmidt, because I just don't think he's good enough. I think Aronson's had a very good preseason, and I think he'll be used off the bench as an impact player, and I think he'll do well as that kind of player that's going to be an impact off the right. Harrison, I'm fine with staying. I think he'll be used in the cup games. He'll come off the bench for like the final 10 minutes of games. He won't be like the first choice off the bench, but he'll come off the bench in some games. I think he's still got quality as a player. I think he's actually a good footballer. Like, you don't play 170 games in the Premier League and you're shit. So I think he actually will be good at some points in the season. It's all written that he scores the winner against Everton. But yeah, that performance was good. The creativity was missing. I mean, that chance early on, like the one where Nonto went flying through, and all he has to do is pass it to Pirro. If you don't want to pass it to Pirro, pass it to Dan James, who's on the other side. Just pass it to one of them. We score, and we're 1-0 up. I mean, we should have scored early on. Like, Nonto stupidly went for the chip. I don't know why. All he had to do was pass it to Pirro or Dan James, who are both there for a tap-in. And then the Stack chance was very good. He hit the bar. Good chance. But I thought creativity, we weren't terrible, but we do need that extra creativity of that player that can find that pass in behind. And I think as I said, we do need number 9. I think we need a number 9 with a bit more pace, because Pirro gets caught up with every defender in the Premier League is going to catch up to him. He's not going to be able to get away from defenders in the Premier League. Every Premier League centre-back is going to catch up to him. He's not good. I don't think he's good enough to be a starter in the Premier League. I'm fine with him being a backup, because off the bench, he's a player that can come off the bench against high defenders. The ball drops to him. He's going to hit the target 90% of the time. Like, you're confident. When it comes to him in an area in the box, maybe just on the edge of the area, you back him to hit the target and you back him to hit a good shot. So I like him because he's very good at finishing. But as a starter, I don't think he's good enough in the Premier League. I think Mecha has more of the attributes that you need to be a Premier League striker, but his problem is injuries. His problem has always been injuries. But I would start Mecha against Everton. But there is a worry. I do think the creativity, right? I think Dan James probably has a bit. I think Dan James has creativity. He has a good cross on him in that. But the problem in this game, you didn't see much of Dan James, because we kind of went down the left side most of the game, to be honest. We didn't really go down the right side that much. Schmidt didn't help Dan James either. Like, if we had an actual right back, like we had Bogle, I think it would have been a lot better. I think Dan James' performance would be way better if we did have Bogle playing instead of Schmidt, which he'll be our starting right back, Bogle. So yeah, but performance-wise, I actually thought we were good. It was a 1-1 draw. I thought we played well. The only bad performance in the game was Schmidt. Like, legit, the rest of them were good. Like, Rodon and Strauch were good at the back. Strauch played the ball over the top, didn't he? The chance that Nonto should have passed. Strauch plays that ball over the top very well. That's a very good ball over the top from Strauch, and I like that. Rodon, defensively, just solid. Goodmanson, I thought, was one of the better players on the pitch. I said he was the second best player on the pitch. There was a moment where he had the ball and he did a lovely, pass through 2 defenders. It was like a nice pass through 2 defenders to Nonto, where he put the ball across the box and no one was there. That's another thing as well. There is moments where we hit the ball with a cross across, like we hit it across the box, but no one's there, because, as I said about Pirro, he's that striker that he's not going to be there if you hit it you hit it across goal. He's just never in that area. He doesn't have the striker IQ to get there and be, the ball comes across the box and you're there to just get your foot onto it and tap it in. He's just not in those positions. He just doesn't get in those positions. Because there's been a couple of times Dan James will whip a ball across a beautiful box, a ball across the box, or not. I think Nonto did in this game, and just no one was there. I think they both did. They both put a cross in this game at one point, and no one was there. I'm not even just having a go at Pirro. Just nobody was there. There was 0 players there, and I'm like, where's the attacking? Where's the attackers in the box? What's the point of your wingers having the ball and then not being able to cross it because there's no one there? I don't think Pirro's not fast. I don't think Pirro's fast enough. The thing is, I don't think he's a bad player, but I just don't think he's good enough to start in the Premier League. We need someone with a bit more pace, to be honest. But I like Pirro as a backup, as I said. I like him off the bench. I think he has very good finishing. That's the best part of his game. He's finishing. Very good. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think Pirro's that quick, to be honest. Because I think a lot of like Premier League defenders are also pretty quick, to be honest. So I think we'll find that out in the Premier League when it starts. And I'm not sure about Pirro in the air as well. He's never been good in the air. We all know that he's not good in the air. Tarkowski's going to absolutely destroy him in the Premier League. I'm sorry. Tarkowski's just going to mark him out the game, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I think Tarkowski would mark him out the game because he's a very good centre-back. I think Tarkowski's a very good centre-back. I think he'll just mark Pirro out the game, where Mecha has that ability of holding the ball up and shielding the ball and doing that stuff that he's good at. But yeah, I do think that's why I prefer Mecha. But we still need, as I said, we need a number 9. We need an actual number 9 to come in. I saw Bornau in Stockholm against Man United. Okay. Well, if we get a decent striker, Pirro will thrive feeding off the striker. He'll get 10 goals. Yeah, I think Pirro will get goals. I've said this. I think Pirro off the bench in the Premier League, he'll get 8 to 10 goals. You know when Joseph was starting in the Championship at the start of the season, and then Pirro would come on and score. He'd score goals. Basically, that's what I want to see from the Premier League with Pirro. You being that bench player that's going to come on for the final 20, 25 minutes, depending on how the game's going around that time. And he'll score a couple of goals. I think he genuinely will get, I said 8 to 10. I think he'll get 8 to 10 goals, and most of those goals will come off the bench. Most of those goals will come off the bench against the tired defenders late on. I generally believe that. I think he'll have a good season. I think we'll look back on Pirro's season and be like, he's a good player that can be very useful off the bench and score some goals. And he's going to help us win points with that, And then when he comes on the pitch, if we get a penalty, hey, best penalty taker in the squad. When he takes a penalty, I'm 100% confident that he's going to hit the back of the net as well. So that's good. So when he does come on, I'm like, at least we got a very good penalty taker if we do get a penalty. But yeah, the creativity and the finishing is 2 main issues in this that I saw in this game though. But yeah, I thought Stack took his goal very well. Outside the box, bends it, puts it into that the corner of the uncertainty. It might have been a cross, it might have been a shot, not quite sure which one, but he did it in that area where either it goes to the far corner, it's very difficult to save for a goalkeeper, or it goes in that area and someone sticks their foot out and gets a touch and it goes the other way and hits the other, it goes on the other side of the goal basically. It would have been a goal anyway. It's one of those where it's a very good idea to do that. You hit it there, someone sticks their foot out and it'll go the other way, the keeper won't save that either. So he put in a good area. And a good finish. It was a good finish. And it was nice to see us score one. I still don't think we're ready for Everton. Need a top quality striker. And left winger also cover for wing backs. It will be 90 minutes defending. We need, I don't think I don't know if ready for Everton. We need a top quality striker. Yes, I agree with that. A left winger for Everton. I'm fine with Nonto. So I'm fine with Nonto at the start of the season. So that's I'm fine with the left winger at the moment. Also cover for wing back. Of course, we do need that because otherwise Sam Barham's going to start because I think Schmidt's proved that he's not good enough in the last 2 preseason games that he's played and that Barham's better. I like Barham defensively and I think he'll do well defensively in the Premier League. But when he does that, we know we miss that going forward because Barham doesn't go forward as much as the Bogle. So we miss that going forward stuff. So that's something that we miss with him on the pitch. Tanaka was not on his best. I thought Tanaka was good. I thought he had a decent, good performance. I thought he was not amazing. There was a couple of times where he got stuck on the ball and he held the ball for too long. But he's going to have to learn. That's something in the Premier League that you're going to have to learn. And we've got to remember, Tanaka, all he's played in his career is Bundesliga 2 and Championship. That's it. So he's going to have to learn that how quick players do come up on you and not to hold the ball too long. I think he'll learn that because I think he's a very talented player that will learn, oh, I can't hold the ball that long because they're going to be right on me because it's the Premier League. I think he'll learn that. What's your predictions, Leeds finishing in the Prem? I said 16th. I said we'll finish 16th because I think relegation is Burnley last. What else? What did I made of? Burnley, Brentford, West Ham, and then I think Sunderland just survive in 17th, and I think we finished 16th. But if I have to say an area that I think we finish is probably 15th and the 17th. I think it'll be that area. It'll be 15th. I'll say four. I'll give us at best. I'll give us 14th. I'd say at best. That's my prediction is at best we'll get 14th. So 14th to 17th. I think we'll finish 16th though. I think it'll be 16th, which I'm fine with. 10 wins. We're just gonna count our way down from 10 wins. 10 wins in, and we're 10 wins and a couple of draws, and we're safe. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the season. I think I'm gonna like the season. Like, might as well be confident. Main priorities. First priority. What the priority said before. Main priorities signing was a striker. First part of the summer window when we wouldn't be scrambling for one now. I mean, yeah. There is a thing about, like, a lot of the top signings do get made in the last, like, I think there was something like it gets made basically late on in the window. Like, all the big signings get made later on in the window. Deadline day is a thing for a reason, so you might sign someone on deadline day. Maybe you get the striker in or the winger in on deadline day, like one of the big signings we get on deadline day. We got Rafinha on deadline day. I think that's something we got to remember. We got Rafinha on deadline day, so we can get some quality player on deadline day. But I understand why people want him now because the season's starting. But I feel like even if we had that winger and striker, realistically we're still probably going to lose to Arsenal and Newcastle. So as long as we get the new players in around those games and get them, and then they can get ready and hopefully be able to start, or if not start, play. We get those players that are going to be like, you look at them and say, you're probably going to be the starter. We pay the money for them to be a starter. We get them ready for the Fulham and Wolves game, basically. Because we got to be real. We're probably going to lose to Newcastle and Arsenal, who we got back-to-back in week 2 and 3. And then we got Wolves and Fulham, who are two games that are like games we should be challenging in to either get a point or win. I do think people need to remember Fulham are a very good team. I think a draw would be good against Fulham. Wolves, I mean, we love it. We love the Molineux. We love a good game at the Molineux. We love beating the Wolves at the Molineux. It's always a weird game. So I would like to, can we do that again and beat them? And yeah, I'll take that, honestly. That would be a great start. A win against Everton, and then you lose to Arsenal and Newcastle, a draw against Fulham, and a win against Wolves. I think that's probably what we can hope for the best, in my opinion, of like that would be a very good start. But yeah, we just basically have to get these players ready for those games. Basically, hopefully the players we bring in that are going to be your starters on the wing and the striker, we just have to get them in and ready to start by Fulham. The Fulham game, in my opinion. When the game's coming up and we're about, like, the game's happening that week, I'm like, we can get a point against Arsenal. Let's just hold them out. We've got this. Like, I'm going to back us, of course. But if I'm going to be realistic, we'll probably lose to those two teams because they're very, very good footballing teams. But yeah, I think Arsenal are very good. Of course, they're going to be in a title race, and Newcastle are going to be in a chase for Europe. So, but I mean, we're going to shock someone. Like, it's not like we won't shock anyone because everyone shocks someone. Every promoted team, besides probably Southampton, every promoted team shocks someone. Like, Ipswich shocked Chelsea last season. Ipswich beat Chelsea. Like, there is a shock. I just don't think that shock will be against Arsenal. Maybe Newcastle. A draw against Newcastle, maybe. Maybe we get a point against Newcastle. 49ers will get it done, but probably incoming signings will get done on the last day of the window. I could see, yeah, I think it might be a late thing because it just feels like that, but I know it's been that quiet, it's been that quiet that it is getting a bit tense because of how quiet it's been. But yeah, on the performance in that game, I mean, if you look at the heat map, how do I get it? How do I expand it? Not the heat map. If you look at this, look how good we played in the second half. It's just all Leeds United. You look at that and the whole second half is just all Leeds United. I didn't know how dominant we actually were in that second half. It was just all us. Wow. Did not realize that. I did not realize how dominant we actually were in that second half. If you're listening to Fark, he wanted players in for preseason. I get it, not easy, but they they had time to do it in the window open is June 1st to the 11th of August. Still looking now it's going to be a tight one. But the thing is, it does, like, signing players isn't just an easy thing. Like, it's not an easy thing. It's not like you click your fingers and, you know, you pay the money and they're going to come 100%. You know, it depends what the player wants. You know, how much money the club want. Do we want to overpay on a player and then they're not as good, and then we go, well, why do we spend that much money on him? But yeah, we'll be working on signings, and hopefully we bring one in. I think we get one in before I think we have to get one in before Everton, at least. I feel like we do. We just got to get one more in before Everton just to calm the nerves. Yeah, we will not be a pushover this season. I think we're very good defensively, so we'll shock a lot of teams defensively, I think, because I think Rodon and Biol will be very good as a partnership. You got Goodmanson, who I think will have a very good season, because in preseason he's looked very good. You look at Stack, I mean, him in attack and defensive-wise, both of them very good. Ampadu, I think, will have a good season. I can see Ampadu having a good season. We got Longstaff, who's that experience that you need in the Premier League, who's been there, done that, 7 years in the Premier League, playing for Newcastle, you know, relegation battle, scoring in the Champions League. You know, he's done it all, basically. He's there, you know, he's got the experience. Tanaka, who's a player who has a bright future, who's very good. So we've got a pretty good team if you actually look at it. Nonto, who last time we were in the Premier League was good, but you look at that and go, was he good, or was he good because the rest of the team was shit? You know, then you got Dan James, who's done it in the Premier League before. He was good at Man United under Ollie. He was decent at Fulham. He wasn't terrible at Fulham, I don't think. I think he was actually all right at Fulham. He wasn't great, but he was a player that, you know, if we actually kept that season, he probably could have helped us try and survive because it would have been nice to have. But yeah, I think we're going to have a good season. I think we'll have a good season. I think we'll stay up. And I mean, that's the best thing we can get. If we stay up in the Premier League, it's the best thing we can probably do. There's nothing else really that we want to do, but you just stay in the Premier League, don't get relegated, and that's a good season. You know, that's a pass on the season. That's a great season, probably, actually, based off the last two. You know, just staying up. LUFC Data has actually put up some stuff. Let's go see this. This is Joe Rodon's performance. This is Joe Rodon's performance against AC Milan. He was very good. 98% pass accuracy, 97 touches, 88 out of 90 successful passes, the best. 6 defensive actions, 5 passes into the final third, 4 clearances, 3 headed clearances, 2 ball recoveries, 2 duels, 1 out of 1 accurate long passes, tackles 1, interceptions 1, time fouled 1. He was good performance. Then you got Anton Stack here as well, who played 89 minutes, 89% pass accuracy, 72 touches, 47 out of 53 successful passes, 5 passes into the final third, 4 ball recoveries, 4 penalty box touches, 4 duels, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 1 interception, 1 shot on target, 1 wheel work shot, and 1 goal. Like you look at those 2 performances and you go, wow. Like, I think Rodon's gonna, like, you look at these performances and those 2 performances were very good as well. Like, Rodon, I'm very excited to see Rodon in the Premier League because I think he's there. I think he is a Premier League player, which I can't wait to see. I think Ampadu will shock a lot of people, as I said, and yeah, I think we'll have a very good season. We'll see what happens when we play Everton. I mean, that's when we'll find out how good we actually are. First game of the season. We don't have to win to survive, but I'm hoping that we win just to get those first points on the board, because if we don't, it could be a while till we get our first points, and we don't want to slip too far behind. So it's not a must win, but it's a game where I think we should want to win. I mean, we want to win every game, but it's a game that you want to get your first point on the board as early as possible, really. You don't want to fall too far behind. And yeah, I think we're going to have a very good season. I think we're going to shock some teams. I think we're going to stay up. And yeah, I'm very excited for the season. As much as a lot of people boo Jack Harrison, but he's here to stay and plenty of experience. Exactly, 170 games in the Premier League. That's another experience. Premier League experience. You know, Premier League experience is massive, and we got a couple of those. You know, you got Dan James, you got Harrison, you got Longstaff, and it's good to have that. And yeah, it's good to have a rotation thing as well of not Dan James. Tanaka will probably be rotating with Longstaff in some games, and I think those two will be the ones like rotating with each other, depending on the opponent and what Fark wants and who he wants to play. So yeah. Dan James, they have to get him up to speed. Yeah, he's coming back from an injury, so I'm not. I didn't. That's why I saw some people on Twitter going at his performance saying he wasn't that good. I'm like, he's coming back from an injury. He just needs. He needs time. He needs time because he's only just coming back from an injury, and that's it's not. You don't just come back from an injury and you're like that or straight away. He needs minutes back in his legs. I think he will start against Everton because I think he's earned that based off last season's performances, and I think he can. How many minutes did he play? He played 66 minutes, so he played 66 minutes. I think he will start against Everton, and then probably Aronson will come on the right in like the 70th minute, whenever, because I think Dan James won't play the full 90 against Everton. I think that's a given because he's just coming back from an injury, but I think he will start him. I think Dan James will start, and then probably Aronson will come on the right after he comes off. But yeah, so yeah, I'm happy Dan James is back, but yeah, he has to get back to fitness, so that's why I'm not really critical of his performance. I mean, we ran down the left a lot of the time, so we didn't really see a lot of him. And it would be nice having, an actual good fullback with him, like, Bogle. But yeah, I'm excited. I think we got a very good team. We got a good bench options as well. Look at our bench options. It's so good looking at the bench and being like, you got options, and yeah, we got options this season, which is very good. So yeah, hopefully we stay up. I'll make I'll do another stream or a video if we get any more news. I don't know if we'll get any more news today. But yeah, if you guys like the stream, please make sure to like the stream. And on your way out, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we are trying to reach the goal of 900 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you guys probably, I'm trying to think, probably maybe tomorrow. I don't even know. We might get some news soon. Hopefully we get some news in the next coming days before the game. But if not, it'll probably be the next video will be a preview. But I think there'll be something